And hello and welcome to the Fall 2023 Somerville Youth Soccer Tykes Fall Season. My name is Jim Seavey. I'm the Executive Director of Somerville Youth Soccer. And on behalf of our 1,400 families, nearly 250 coaches, our entire board of directors, and our executive committee, it's a pleasure to welcome you back to the Fall 2023 season. The Tykes program is such a wonderful and exciting program for us, and it introduces young people to the world of soccer. What a great sport it is. It brings community values. It introduces new friends and hopefully friends that will be there for a lifetime. So we're so pleased that you are volunteering your time to be part of this program again. And on behalf of all of us, we can never say thank you enough for everything that you do for SYS, and certainly hope that you have a great experience and an enjoyable one. The purpose of this video is to provide information at the start of the season that you'll need for the course of the next 9 weeks. The season will start on September 9th with our first sessions on Saturdays, on September 6th for the first Wednesday sessions at Tufts. So let's get right into the bulk of the information and guide you along the way. And once again, a reminder that there will be a preseason coaches meeting on Sunday, August 27th at 5 p.m. via Zoom, and you'll receive that link directly from our outstanding Tykes program coordinators, Shilpa Coburn and Megan Phillips. So let's get started. So our agenda today on this call is just a welcome and remarks that introductory remarks from myself, coaching with SYS information, fall information about the fall 2023 season, a to-do list. And on Sunday night, what we want to do with that meeting is provide really for the opportunity to have an extended question and answer session. In the past, we've combined this with the coaches meeting, but we found that providing this video gives everyone the opportunity to view it at your leisure and to also ask any questions that you have heading into the season. So again, thank you for volunteering. We have 22 teams, nearly 200 registrations. That number continues to grow as we get closer to the start of the season. I'm very pleased to announce that Dick's Sporting Goods will be our program sponsor for this year. And all players will receive a Dick's Sporting Goods t-shirt at your first respective sessions on September 6th and September 9th. A few compliance matters, if you haven't already done so. Meg Bride, who's our outstanding risk management coordinator, has been in communication with all coaches about getting credentialed through Mass Youth Soccer. That is required. You need to complete the volunteer registration form on the SYS website under the Get Involved tab, and then complete the Corey application, as well as view the Safe Sport and the concussion protocol videos, which are required by both Mass Youth Soccer and US Soccer. Make sure you download the Sports Engine app onto your phone or mobile device. That will provide everything that you'll need for the year, your rosters, schedules for both games and practices, and any other information that you'll need, including the chat function, which will come in handy as the year goes along. And please keep an eye out for updates and communication from the league throughout the fall. So coaching with SYS, we're going to cover 6 topics: credentialing and certification, which we just reviewed a little, coaching vacancies, our program philosophy and goals, access to the SYS coaches manual, which is on our website, and how to address any behavioral issues that come up during the course of the season. So again, all volunteers must pass a Corey background check and complete concussion and abuse prevention online training. The modules are located on the link under the Get Involved tab at somervillesoccer.org. If you are interested in obtaining a grassroots license through US Soccer, we certainly encourage you to do that. Your registration costs and fees for certificate will be reimbursed by SYS. So if you're looking to do that, please reach out to me and I can provide you with more information on that. We're looking to have at least a head coach and 1 assistant coach per Tykes team. If you're interested in volunteering or know someone who would be, please reach out to our outstanding age coordinators, as I said, Shilpa and Megan at Tykes@somervillesoccer.org. Or you can also reach out to our volunteer coordinator, Corey Meehan. Her address is listed below at volunteercoordinator@somervillesoccer.org. Even if you don't know soccer, we can recruit and assist you with training materials to prepare you for the season. So We find that once parents get involved in coaching, it really becomes a labor of love, and it's a great way to connect not only with your child, but other children in the community. So our program philosophy for Tykes is all about fun. At this age, for 2 and 3-year-olds, this is about playing games, not doing drills, not doing anything that you would see associated with the older kids. We believe strictly in family-oriented roster. Our goal is to give families times that work for them, both on Wednesday afternoons and on Saturday mornings, and honoring requests for specific teammates and coaches. We try to keep workable roster sizes, and Shilpa and Megan have done an outstanding job at that. We have under 15 players per team. Usually we try to keep it at 12 players on each team, and we've actually expanded the number of teams that we've had over the last couple of years. All of communication will go through Sports Engine, so please use the message and chat function for team updates. And carpooling, really, this was a concern during the height of the pandemic, which we'll talk about shortly. But if you are going to carpool, again, do it safely. I know most families either walk or do take their own cars over to our competitive venues at Tufts, Nunziato, and Hodgkins. But if you are going to carpool, please do it safely. So the goals of the program are also very, very simple: to make it an enjoyable experience for the players and parents, to instill a love of the game of soccer and a general familiarity with the sport, to help develop physical literacy, to provide introduction to a team sports setting, and that's really important as the kids continue to grow and develop in the program. And sneakily develop, I guess, is the best way to describe soccer skills. So while they're playing games, they're learning how to pass and receive. They're learning how to dribble and control the ball. They're learning how to strike as they go toward the goal. Tackling interceptions really, doesn't come into play as much. Interceptions as much. There's certainly no tackling in the Tykes level, but you start to see those skill sets as they go on in the program. We do have a coaches manual that is available on our website. If you go to the coaches tab at somervillesoccer.org, it's a resource for all our coaches. There's also links to other materials which may be helpful to you in the process on our coaching philosophy, playing philosophy, the developmental targets by age, as well as practice plans. And we'll get into a little bit more about that. We a couple of years ago, two of our great coaches, Megan Prokop and Carrie-Ann Panos, came up with some skills and games that we've passed along to coaches over the course of the years that will help you as you plan your sessions on Saturday. So please feel free to access that for more information. We don't really anticipate that you will have behavioral issues. We ask an adult chaperone for each player, should be at all training sessions at all times on throughout the season. If there is a behavioral problem, we encourage you to discuss it with the player first. If it persists, then discuss it with the parent or guardian. We have never had to enact the behavioral plan with our Tykes program, but I did want you to be aware of what the behavioral plan is for SYS. The first step is a verbal warning unless the behavior is dangerous. You can place the player in a timeout for 10 to 15 minutes, which is basically 1/3 of each session each week. If the behavior continues to persist without intervention, then you can dismiss the player from the training session. You can also suspend him from upcoming the next player session or team session or subsequent sessions. If the behavior continues to persist in a negative manner, you can suspend that player from team events for a defined period. The ultimate penalty, and again, we've never had to do this with the Tykes program at all, is to either expel from the team or render that player ineligible for registration in future seasons. Again, this is the SYS guideline policy for behavioral issues. We've never had to enact this with Tykes. We don't anticipate doing that this fall, but I certainly wanted you to be aware of that plan in the event that you would need it. So with regard to the fall season, we'll go through the calendar, the session formats and setup, any questions about games, fields, and importantly, weather policies and cancellations, especially since we're playing on grass fields for everything. So the fall 2023 calendar, the first Wednesday session at Tufts Triangle Field will begin on Wednesday, September 6th. The first Saturday sessions at both Nunziato and Hodgkins will begin on Saturday, September 9th. The Wednesday sessions start at 4, the last sessions are at 5, so it's a 4 to 6. And again, on Saturdays, the first sessions start at 9 and they end at 12. So the schedules have been set. They should be visible on your app with your respective teams. So that should be set. The last day of Tykes sessions is at Tufts for Wednesdays is on November 1st. And the last day for Saturday Tykes sessions will be on November 4th. So the session formats are 45 minutes in length. There are no separate player zones required, but we discourage players from contact with one another. That really it was a COVID restriction. Some parents prefer that, but it's as you go along with the team, as the weeks go along, you'll know the comfort level with that particular area. Adults can be called upon to work with their players as needed. If parents, again, if you're having a behavioral issue or if there's something along the line that you feel to need to call upon the adults in attendance, you can do so. Again, we talked about roster size with 12 to 15 players per team. And generally that target number is around 12. And team snacks are permitted after each session. I know in past years during the pandemic, that was a restriction, but we reinstituted that last year. And you can certainly have that with your team after each session during the week. So here are the games that have been developed and been very successful over years. And again, there's a supplemental document that will be distributed with you to you prior to the start of the season that you can use for reference. So games like Red Light, Green Light, Sharks and Fishes, Cat and Mouse, parenting goals where the parents are actually in goal, Hat Trick Hero, and Bad Acting. Again, there's a supplemental document which I will share on that shortly, but you'll also receive a copy of that PDF as well. So as I mentioned before, the fields that we use, Hodgkins Field at Hodgkins Curtin Park near Davis Square. That's where the sessions will take place for teams assigned there from 9 to noon on Saturdays. Nunziato Field, which is near Union Square, will be again from 9 to 12 on Saturdays. And Triangle Field, which is near the Rotary, College Avenue and Powderhouse Boulevard, right by the entrance at Tufts University. We'll have teams there that have signed up on Wednesdays from 4 to 6. So I want to talk real quick about the weather policy again, because all three venues play on grass fields. SYS rents grass facilities from the city of Somerville, who has the final word on whether or not fields will be closed in the event of rain or severe weather. So our policy is as follows. In the event of rain, if it's light rain, we encourage you to play on, provided again that the city has not closed the fields. In a moderate rain, suspend play, and in the event of saturation, we want to make sure that all the kids are safe. If there's heavy rain, please suspend play as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. In the event of severe weather, halt the session and seek cover immediately. You can resume a session 30 minutes after the last lightning strike occurs, but again, in that situation, given that it's a 45-minute session, you may not be able to resume a session based upon severe weather. So, and I want to reiterate the policy on grass field closure. Again, this is something that is in the purview of the city of Somerville, the Recreation Department and DPW. If the city closes the grass fields, we will let you know directly. So many times I'll receive communication from coaches if there is weather in the forecast asking if the grass fields are open. And this is what our policy is and philosophy really. Unless you hear from me, otherwise, assume that the grass fields are open. Many times parents will reach out asking, hey, it's supposed to rain today. Are the fields open? Unless we tell you otherwise, assume that they are open. And if you can pass that message along to your families, that would be greatly appreciated. We will notify you immediately if the city does make the decision to close any grass fields on the days of your respective sessions, and we'll do that well in advance so that no one will go out to the field expecting for an event to take place that ends up having to be canceled or postponed. So the other topic with regard to weather policy is what we do in the event of extreme temperatures. I don't foresee this as an issue in the fall, certainly closer as we get, unless we have a very early winter event. The minimum wind chill that we will allow participation is 25 degrees Fahrenheit. The maximum heat index is 105 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm quite confident we haven't had that situation take place during the fall season. But I wanted you to be aware that if those thresholds are met, then we would cancel a session. And again, as I said before, fields are open and sessions are on. Unless you hear from me otherwise, assume that they're open. Please do not email me or call me or go in the chat and ask. If the fields are closed, I will let you know as soon as possible. I will also update Sports Engine if a session status is changed from scheduled to canceled. So you don't have to worry about that. That's something that we do for you. If you're canceling your session on your own for some reason, if there's an emergency, if you're going out of town and someone can't cover the event, or if there's any other reason that you have for canceling the session, please email me directly at executivedirector@somervillesoccer.org so that I can update the information in Sports Engine directly. The national health emergency for COVID-19 ended in May of this year. We do remain vigilant with COVID safety. Last year, Mass Youth Soccer developed COVID best practices. Those mirror the guidelines set forth by the Commonwealth. Again, the health emergency is over. There has been a report, not necessarily in the Northeast. There has been an uptick in cases in older adults. But again, the guidelines are in place that we have followed for the last year and a half. There are no masking or social distance requirements. Anyone who contracts COVID as a close contact is no longer required to quarantine. You can visit the mass.gov website on COVID-19 updates and information. But again, provide this more for information than anything else. Again, with the national health emergency has expired, but we are vigilant, remain vigilant with COVID safety protocols. 2 to-dos for you. Get credentialed and get your equipment. As I mentioned at the start, you must be credentialed by Mass Youth Soccer to be on the field. The adult registration takes 5 minutes, the Corey background about 5 minutes. The concussion online training is about a 20-minute to half-hour session. The longest one is the Safe Sport Abuse Prevention online training, and that's required by U.S. Soccer and the federal government. That is a requirement. It is a longer process, but it certainly, for the safety and well-being of all the children who participate in our program, all of our volunteers are required to be a part of that. You must be registered with SYS and Sports Engine to be added to a roster. So again, that volunteer registration takes about 5 minutes if you haven't already done it. Please go to our tab, Get Involved tab on our website at somervillesoccer.org. And you can certainly reach out to either myself, and I would encourage you to contact Meg Bride, our risk management director, at riskmanagement@somervillesoccer.us if you have any specific questions. I know Meg has been in touch with everyone that has volunteered for this fall. So if you haven't completed that training, you must do so before your first session. Marco Vieira is the SYS equipment coordinator. You can text him at 857-500-2912 to prepare your equipment kit, which will include balls, pug goal, pop-up goals, bibs and pennies, cones, a ball pump and inflation needles, and a first aid kit that you'll keep throughout the season and return at the end of this fall in November. If you have questions at any time about any aspect of the program, please reach out to your age directors, Shilpa and Megan, Tykes at somervillesoccer.org. Any questions about fields or any general questions about the organizations, you can direct to me at my email listed there at executivedirector@somervillesoccer.org. Marco, again, as I said, his cell number is listed there to text him for equipment. And if you have any questions, concerns, or any other communication, you can also feel free to call the office at 617-684-5737. And before I go to the game sheet that was developed a few years back by Megan and Carrie Ann, again, we can never thank you enough for all that you do for SYS. I know this will be a great experience for you and your families and your child this fall. The Tykes program is just the funnest of all. It's really kids getting to know other kids and getting to have a love for the sport of soccer. So thank you again. Enjoy every moment of it and really have fun. What I want to do is go to the toddler practice sheet that was developed a few years back with some suggestions for games. And again, you'll receive a copy of this prior to the season. There, it starts with everything from warm-ups to specific games that you can play during sessions. So there are some specific suggested rather warm-up activities that you can do. Soccer hokey pokey, I can tell you, is very popular. There are games that you can play, and again, these are not in a particular order. You'll see them on the sheet. Tunnel is one, a big tunnel, which involve both the kids and the adults. Animal hunt is very popular. I know there are a lot of animal noises that you hear during the course of a specific session when people are folks are playing that game. Red light, yellow, light green, purple. It's basically a version of red light, green light, which everybody has fun with. Foxes and chickens is also popular. Baby sharks and minnows as well. You don't have to sing the baby shark song, by the way. That is not a requirement for that particular drill. And then you can do skill building activities. They don't involve the ball, but again, these are fun. These are part of the fundamentals that the kids are learning as you go along between cone jumping, catch and tickle the baby shark, kick cone, train. You'll see them listed here along with other ball control activities. And then at the end of the session, there are cool downs that you can do that are listed here. Again, this is a great list that was developed a couple of years back that has really worked well with our coaches. So you see examples of what you can do on day one: a welcome, a warm up, kicking the ball. Make sure that again that the kids get water breaks during the course of each session. In September, we can get some warmer days still with late summer. So please be mindful of that. And again, there are other suggested activities that you can do during your respective practice times. And again, this will be shared with you. This document will be shared. It's also available on the coach's resource page as well. So again, these are designed to provide a guideline for you. If there are other things that you have in mind and would like to do, please, and if there are things that you see that work, please share them with us so that we can share them with other coaches. So again, I can't thank you enough for everything that you do for SYS. We're really looking forward to a great fall season, again, with the Tykes program. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to reach out to me at executive director@somervillesoccer.org. And I look forward to seeing you during your first sessions in a couple of weeks coming up. And again, have fun, enjoy it, and thank you again for everything you do for SYS. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you during the course of the season.